Hello YouTube, this is the second part, the second show in my series that I'm doing. I am committed to doing 20 of these. I don't know the time frame. Could be a year, it could be a month, it could be a week, but I think it'll be less than a year. But I'm gonna do 20. The last video, I talked about Say You Will by Fleetwood Mac. These are CDs, albums, records, recordings that have meant a lot to me in my life, my thoughts, my impressions on them. Today, I was gonna do the Rolling Stones, but I decided that instead, I would go back to where it all started, which is actually not here. It didn't all start here, but this is the first CD that I ever bought. This is U2's The Best of 1980 to 1990. I've had this as of this month for 20 years. I bought it in June of 2025. There are some very faint light scratches on this disc. I bought it brand new at either the Sam Goody or Camelot or whatever it was called in the mall in Waterloo, Iowa. I'm gonna try to not cry in this video like I cried in the first video. But also there were allergens in the air and there was paint stripper in my house. I was using paint stripper on something and I think that was making my eyes kind of burn and I was getting emotional and there were allergens in the air. But anyhow, I don't know if I'm gonna talk for an hour or a minute, but I'm gonna keep talking, I'm gonna keep ranting, I'm gonna tell you about my thoughts on this U2 compact disc. So back in the late 90s, this came out in 1998, and I do recall my brother bought a CD called Now That's What I Call Music Volume 2. It could have been Volume 1 or 3, but I'm pretty sure it was Volume 2, and it had Sweetest Thing, the single mix by U2 on it, which was like the big single from this album, this compilation. It was their first greatest hits foray. They'd been around for almost 20 years. 20 years since, 18 years since the release of their first record. I think they actually formed in 1978 in Dublin. I've never been to Dublin, but my name is Patrick. I have Irish blood within me. So I remember playing Legos and listening to that CD with that song on it. I also remember as a young boy being in my dad's car with him and a song came on the radio. I don't know if this is true, if this is an accurate memory, but I believe it is. I believe that song was Where the Streets Have No Name, but I might be making that up. But I remember specifically being in the car with my dad and him saying that, the guitar player in this band, his name is The Edge. There's also a movie called The Edge about a bear, and Anthony Hopkins was in it, I think. And my dad and I watched that movie together. There are a lot of coincidences and parallels in my life, especially pertaining to my childhood and my relationship to my father and other people in my life. But I know that you are here to watch me talk, listen to me talk about this CD with the little boy with the helmet on. And perhaps it's the same boy on the back cover, I don't know. And then his nipple is showing. So that's kind of weird. Maybe if this was to be produced in this day and age, they would think twice about that. Poor little boy being exposed. But I bought this CD because I had borrowed the Joshua Tree from my dad. I'll talk about the Joshua Tree some other time. It's important, it's good, but I fell in love with the Joshua Tree. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. It was my favorite song, and I hear it on the radio too. I listened to a lot of radio back in 2005, 2004, and that's really where I got a lot of my education about classic rock, if you want to call it that, or rock and roll in general. And U2 was kind of one of my first windows into it, but I love the Joshua Tree, and my first CD purchase was this for $9.99 at that store in Waterloo, Iowa, and I listened to it on my sister's portable CD player, or maybe it was my own. on the way to my grandma's house, and it's got all the hits, you know. So this kind of expanded my knowledge of what U2 was all about. I remember New Year's Day hearing it on here. I don't think they really played that one on the radio where I grew up, and that was interesting to me because there were keyboards on it. I was like, what? Pianos and U2? And through my internet research, I discovered The Edge was playing the piano while he was playing the guitar. Like, that was pretty special. Of course, I knew Sunday Bloody Sunday, but this was my introduction to Bad, which is a fan favorite for U2, myself included. Fantastic song. Heroin abuse, dark lyrics, interesting rhythms and patterns and dynamics. And there's a pretty cool live version on the Wide Awake in America CD. Is that what it's called? It's like an EP, has 4 songs. You can see it at every CD store. I think I got rid of that though, just to save space, because there's only 4 songs on it, but the version of Bad on there is really good. It has like a tape loop, which is interesting. Not something they would normally do. They cut down some of the, like the intro on Where the Streets Have No Name is cut down on this, so that's unfortunate, but you know, this is the big hits, bam, bam, bam. I Will Follow, it's not a marimba. What is it? What is that instrument? I can't remember. But it's very, even to this day, like you don't hear punk bands or post-punk bands with that percussion instrument in any songs. You don't hear other bands, you don't hear U2 using it, but it's so unique. It's that I Will Follow is a great song. Unforgettable Fire, dark song. Red Wine That Punctures the Skin. Did I mention the Legos with The Sweetest Thing? Like, I remember playing Legos and listening to that song, which I think is beautiful. I'm getting married soon. I have blue eyes. My fiance has brown eyes, so that's kind of cool. If you know the lyrics, you know the lyrics. Then towards the end of this, they get to the rattle and hum songs, which kind of confused me because they really delve into blues music. And where I grew up, especially like the music my parents listened to, there wasn't a whole lot of blues music being played. So to hear, I mean, Desire's got the Bo Diddley beat. It's a fantastic song, but I don't think I really appreciated it when I was in 7th grade in 2005. And When Love Comes to Town, that's got B.B. King singing on it. So that was my introduction to him, which I'm very grateful for. Angel of Harlem has a lot of horns on it. I was like, this is rock and roll. It's supposed to be guitars. But it's not that I didn't like it. I was just kind of neutral on that. But yeah, I love that song. It's fantastic. I toured Sun Studios in Memphis and where that was recorded. And yeah, it's a great song, great song. The lyrics on some of these songs, Bono's lyrics, I know some people don't like Rattle and Hum, but I don't know. I think it's really great. The live versions, but we're not going to talk about Rattle and Hum today. We'll talk about some other time. But the original songs in Rattle and Hum are some of my favorite U2 songs. And All I Want Is You closes this one out, or does it? Surprise, surprise. October comes in after that as a hidden track, which I thought was really mysterious and ominous. I mean, there's no guitar in that song. It's just the Edge playing piano. And it really surprised me. That was back in the CD days. You could get surprised by a hidden track. Nowadays, I'm less apt to be shocked or surprised or confused by that. But All I Want Is You is beautiful. There was a version of them singing it with Lady Gaga recently. I'll have to go back and look at that again. I think I didn't pay enough attention. They were at the Sphere. But All I Want Is You is very powerful. It has strings on it, and I think it's a pretty good use of the strings, but I also love the guitar work, the melody, the rhythm, the lyrics, all of that. It's great. So U2 was my second favorite band. Fleetwood Mac was my first favorite band. My third favorite band was Queen. That was the third CD that I bought. Perhaps my next video will be that CD. I do still love Queen. Love all these bands. I try to not hate stuff. My feelings change on stuff over time, but music, I think, is a force for good, and just hating stuff. The reason I'm tempted to hate stuff is because it's shoved down my throat and I'm forced to hear it again and again and again in situations where I'd rather hear something that's interesting to me. And so artists like Maroon 5 kind of have fallen into that category, but I hold no ill will towards them. I just probably won't go to see their concerts or let them take up time in my life. But U2's great. That's all I'm gonna say today. I got a lot of things I need to do. I'm gonna make 18 more videos like this. Most definitely, I promise, between the next year. That's a promise I might break, but I promise it'll be within the next year. It'll be before I die, unless I die really soon in a freak accident. But I'm gonna make 18 more videos. Thank you for watching if you're watching. This is just something fun that I'm doing.